Living in Vegas is completely different than visiting Vegas. So I have been here for about 6 months. If you're thinking about moving to Las Vegas, here are the pros and cons in my opinion. One of the biggest benefits for me was that the living costs were cheaper compared to LA and San Francisco. I pay about $1,300 a month, including utilities, for my apartment here in Vegas. In LA, I was paying $1,600 to $1,700 a month on rent and utilities. The cost of food, everything compared to LA, I would say about 20 to 25% less, although those prices are starting to rise as well, given inflation and also the influx of people that are moving here from other states, particularly California.
Tesla, we have a Tesla.
Wi-Fi?
Sounds like a shitty people.
The city is very organized. The streets are perpendicular, you can tell it's a planned city, and it makes getting around a lot easier. Any friend, whether they're in Henderson or North Vegas, I can get there in about 20, 30 minutes max. Traffic is good. The laws make sense here. The water conservation is great. Who would have thought that Vegas is one of the best water conservation programs? In fact, we recycle most of the water that we use, and we actually put it back into the Colorado River, way ahead of California. So business tax, everything is entrepreneur friendly. You don't have these like weird, complicated laws that don't make sense, especially for business owners. The majority of people I met in Vegas are very, very kind, very down to earth. When you walk around my apartment, even when you walk around Summerlin where I live, people smile, people say hello. And it's a different vibe than LA where it's like people are kind of standoffish unless you are somebody. Even compared to the Bay Area, I find that people here are just very friendly, very down to earth. And they actually say hello when you walk by them on the street. And it's got a small town feel, especially once you get off the strip. And I really like that about Vegas. No matter where you live in Vegas, you're about 15 minutes from the strip and the airport's close by. So everything's very convenient, conveniently located, unlike LA where you can spend an hour in traffic just getting from one place to another. If you want to party, if you want to go on the strip, if you have a Nevada license, you get free parking in all of the casinos for 3 hours. And then we found free parking at certain locations where you can park all day. So if you want entertainment, if you want to meet tourists, if you want to like have fun on the strip, it's an easy drive and parking, or you can take an Uber for like 20, 30 bucks. There's lots of attractions off the strip too. Area 15 is an amazing location. 3D museum is also there. Sex museum. There are the wax museums. There are some great buffets that are really affordable, and they're also very, very cool. The buffet at the Wynn is one of my favorites. For like 30, 40 bucks, all you can eat, and all of the food is really amazing. I found a place where they play board games, and that was actually really fun. I feel more at home around like nerds playing board games than I do sometimes at the club, even though I'm a coach. But I found that there's a lot of cool board game nights there. Salsa dancing is okay here. There are a couple of spots you can go salsa dancing. The salseros are great here. And I do feel like there's a push towards green energy, although some of the locals hate it. But we have like 8 EV chargers at our apartment, right? And you're starting to see the number of Teslas go up as more Californians move here. Not saying that's a good thing, but I think the move towards sustainable energy is a good thing. And because of the weather here, having solar roofs actually does help a lot. Because I'm so close to the strip, a lot of friends will come visit you, right? Because you're in Vegas. I've had more friends visit me in the last 6 months than I had like the last 10 years living in different places. So it is a tourist destination. Your friends will want to come visit you. I've had the privilege of clients flying out to come train with me because of Vegas. It's Vegas. So it's a great location for in-person training, taking them out, talking to people, meeting friends. It's a great, great place to do that. So those are some of the benefits of living in Vegas. I'm going to give you some of the disadvantages, in my opinion, of living in Vegas. Keep in mind, this is just based on my personal preferences, but you may want to consider them if you're thinking about moving here. So I've never had issues with bugs in apartments, but in Vegas, particularly during the summertime, I don't know why, but crickets and cockroaches tend to live, there are a lot of them here. So occasionally we'll see the occasional cockroach or the cricket in my bedroom. I have never had that problem in California of all the places I lived in. It's not a big deal. They have the bug guy come spray, get those sticky pads, and most of the time it's not a big deal. But in the beginning, it was a little jarring for me as someone who hasn't seen bugs in a long time, especially in the States. People are less ambitious here, especially off the strip. They're not as like motivated to give you like the best service possible. They don't feel like, they're not like competing to get a promotion, to get the next step. They're more chill, more laid back, which is nice. However, I found that when I had to repair my car, when I had to get certain things done, signed. People were a little bit more laid back than I was used to compared to the Bay Area and LA and bigger cities that perhaps had more competition. For me, there were only a few locations that I found that was good for meeting perhaps single women that might be a good match for me off the strip. And when I was on the strip, we actually did the math. About 1 out of 20 girls actually live locally. And then locally, you have Fremont Street, which is, in my opinion, a little bit like crazy. A lot of things going on there. And then you have the art district, which is hit or miss. Some nights it's a lot of people, other nights are not so many people. So it was hard to meet single women face to face and find out exactly where they are. In Summerlin, it's kind of nice. Summerlin is more of a milfy, older, like, vibe. I think that if you're looking for a place to practice, like talking to people, if you're looking for a place to date around casually, Vegas is great. However, if you're looking for like your future wife and you have like my preferences, which is educated, a little bit ambitious, perhaps a little bit more metropolitan, off the strip might not be a great place. I found that a lot of girls here that I've matched with or I see on dating apps, they tend to be very tatted up, a lot of tattoos, and also it's a very distinct two types. It's like girls that are very sexualized, and then there are girls that are like not sexual at all. And there's nothing in between. So it's very polarizing. And a lot of the pictures that you'll see when you swipe, it's like very like sexual poses and stuff. And it's hard to find like just girls that are like, more classy, in my opinion. Half of the girls I meet are in the hospitality industry. Bartender, dancer, hostess. If you are attractive, the money gravitate towards the strip, right? Entertainment, hospitality. And so that tends to be the case here in Vegas as well. You're not going to find like the Bay Area career gal who's, working at Google for 3 years and building her 401k. It's not the most common thing here, if that's what you're looking for. It's super hot. Like, I like being warm. I don't like the cold, but it's super hot. From May to September, like about 5 to 6 months, it's just too hot to even go out. I know that sounds crazy, but we had a couple of weeks actually here where it was over 100 degrees and you literally could not stay out without being in danger. I would get texts on my phone saying, National Weather Emergency, extreme heat, right? I've never gotten that before. I've gotten extreme blizzards, but never extreme heat. The car insurance here is actually surprisingly high because there are some crazy drivers in Vegas. It's not as high as LA though. I remember when I called Geico, they said that LA had the highest concentration of the most expensive cars per capita in the world. But I think in Vegas, it's just a lot of accidents because people are drinking and driving. You'll see billboards of personal injury lawyers all over Vegas. And I think that's because there's some crazy drivers, because people come here to, it's an adult wonderland. So people like drink and drive, or maybe they're off the strip. So driving can be a little dangerous, especially near and around the strip. It's not a major intellectual capital or tech center. There's some tech companies here, but most of them have like, remote workers or like a very small office, but it's not like a capital. The healthcare is okay. My health insurance, I haven't gone to that many doctors, but it's okay. It's not super great. It was hard to find a PPO plan. The education is okay. UNLV is the big university here, but it's not like it's not like intellectual capital. It's not like Boston where you have like 30 of the greatest schools in the world. It's not like LA where you have like UCLA, USC, etc. It's just pretty much UNLV. If you're looking for like super educated, girls, this is probably not the right city for you. It is cheaper to buy a house here compared to California. You can actually afford it, and the houses here are generally pretty nice. So overall, I would say I really enjoyed Vegas. I like the people here the most. I like the friendliness of it all, and being able to take a step back from the hustle and bustle of like competition in the Bay and LA. The heat does bother me a little bit. I think if you're looking for your future wifey and you are, you come from like a big city where you're educated, you've had a career. If you want to find someone that's like that, it might be a hard time for you. If you don't mind the heat, if you like going on the strip and just, meeting girls casually, if you like just partying a lot, this is a great city. Some of the best pool parties, some of the best DJs. We have like massive headliners here every weekend. And I found a way to get them for free every weekend. I don't enjoy the club scene, but it's nice to go and listen to their music. Some of the greatest shows in the world are here. If you like Cirque du Soleil, if you like magic shows, some of the greatest acts are here. In my humble opinion, I think if you're a business owner, you don't mind the heat, you want to buy a house relatively cheaply compared to California, and you don't mind a little bit more of a laid-back attitude, I think Vegas is great. If you're looking to advance your career in tech, unless you're a remote worker, if you are looking for like a highly educated, girl, if you're looking for a girl who's more like a city girl, metropolitan girl, stylish, lives in New York City, lives in LA, likes to dress up. If you like day gaming, if you like going out during the day and just talking and meeting people, which I love to do, any park in New York, any kind of walking around Albuquerque in LA, just like meeting interesting people, I think you can do partially that, but the majority of that should be done on the Strip, and the majority of people that you meet will not live there, so it's hard to make long-term friendships that way. So if that's what you're looking for, I don't know if this is the best city for that. Those are my pros and cons as a guy in Vegas. I have a different perspective on that, I think, and yeah, I hope that was helpful to you.
This channel is awesome. Subscribe here. Watch another video here. Here. Subscribe here.